But he went a little too far when he started shutting down war memorials.
Truckers gassing up and heading straight to Washington today, marking the start of a 3-day protest against the federal government. Now, throughout the weekend, the truckers plan to clog the Capitol Beltway. So how did day one go? Griff Jenkins riding along with organizer Ernest Lee and talking to other truckers gearing up to protest.
I think it's time for the American people to stand up to the forces that are trying to drag this country through the dirt and into the sewer. They're trampling on our rights.
I love my country and I hate what's going on. I hate it.
It's traffic all weekend long.
Just clogging up that traffic, J.B. Schaffner says there's more to come.
Trucks are going to be driving in shifts. So we've got one shift out now, and we're staging for more drivers as they continue to show up.
Leading today's effort well before dawn, Ernest Lee, a trucker known on the CB radio as General. General, what do you hope to accomplish today?
What we hope to accomplish today is the beginning of making the federal government smaller, getting it back inside the framework of the Constitution. We are looking for an Egyptian moment here, where instead of 30 to 35 million people all across the nation, we have participations by 100 million Americans standing up together, uniting, saying, we have had enough. We want our country back. It's time for the people to rise up and tame this beast that is the federal government. Our non-representing representatives have got to listen. They've got to be put on notice. 2014's coming, 2016's coming, and what's coming with it is we the people and big, big change. This is the beginning. This is a springboard for this.
When you say enough, enough of what? What have you had enough of?
Enough tyranny, enough taxation, enough big government. We've had plenty enough of that.
Is there one thing that was the tipping point for this movement?
Obamacare probably had a whole lot to do with it being a tipping point. Obviously, this movement was being planned and was underway well before the shutdown. But you know what? We thought we'd add our own brand of shutdown to this and just cut the city off. And in a way, in a symbolic way, sort of shut down D.C. to isolate them the way D.C., all their regulations and everything are just choking the life out of this economy, out of our rights, out of our freedoms. I'm doing this for my grandchildren. So my grandchildren can take and have the opportunity to grow up in a United States of America that is free with a much smaller, less intrusive federal government. Power returned to the states and to the people.
It's the right for the Constitution. We're tired of the government not following the Constitution, not following the oath of office like they pledged to, just like I did when I joined the military. They expected me to do it when I was in the military. We expect them to do it while they're in office. They're not doing it, and we're tired of it. This country's going downhill, and it's hurting the economy bad, and we're just tired of it. I mean, that's the bottom line. We're just tired of it, and hopefully we'll get more support out here. Twice we got pulled over, or one of our drivers got pulled over. One time we was blocking all the lanes at 15 mile an hour, and they didn't like that. So we got to leave one lane open at 40, and we got to stay above 40 mile an hour. And they nailed one of our supporters that joined us later this morning. They pulled him over out here on 495 I don't know, they got him for 39 mile an hour.
It's at the World War II Memorial where the last straw was broken for the truckers. The Obama administration closed the World War II Memorial on October 1st. However, just a couple feet away from here is the National Mall, and on Tuesday of this week, the administration allowed for a protest to take place for immigration reform. To put bluntly, Obama allowed for illegal immigrants to enter the National Mall while closing this memorial that was built with private funds to honor veterans. This has caused a lot of anger around the country. Here's what Representative Louis Gohmert told me.
I've never seen so many Park Service personnel out here at the Lincoln Memorial. You move a barricade and you get more Park Service people than I've ever seen in the whole mall.
So yeah, it's not saving any money for the close down to have this many people with this many barricades.
Despite this, veterans have been able to enter the memorial. They pushed past the barricades the Park Service police put up, and Park Police have since changed the wording on the signs, allowing for First Amendment rights to be exercised here. Now, I spoke with General Lee. He's the truck driver coordinator for this event. I spoke with him last night. Here's how he put it.
People are going to remember all this idiocy and foolishness during the shutdown. I believe President Obama had a plan that he was going to take and punish the American people, but he went a little too far when he started shutting down war memorials for like the greatest generation in our history.
And again, he was supposed to be here for the honor flight and to give their list of demands to Congressman Gohmert. Some of their demands might surprise you. Take a listen.
Part of our agenda is we're calling for his resignation or impeachment, just like Morsi in Egypt. And if we raise 100 million Americans across the country, we will demand his resignation or pressure the House and Senate to call for his impeachment on treason and fraud.
Other than calling for Barack Obama to leave office, they are also demanding that the USA shall not support al-Qaeda, the debt ceiling shall not be raised, and the National Security Agency's surveillance of the entire world's communications must cease, among others. They're calling this a grassroots campaign. They proudly have 150,000 likes on Facebook, and they have launched a Twitter campaign at hashtag T2SDA. That's for truckers to shut down America. This is day one of their 4-day campaign. They haven't quite shut down the country, but they are tooting their horns loudly, and they have been heard. In Washington, D.C., Perry Unboring, RT.
But he went a little too far when he started shutting down war memorials